Hey, it's Andrew Singer. Welcome back to Gylt. A little while ago, we started talking about interviews. We talked about what's the purpose of an interview. We talked about the introductory parts of an interview. What I'd like to cover with you right now are the three main parts in an interview. If you remember, the purpose of an interview is to get somebody to like you. Introductions are really important as to who you are. What you want to do, and I think I left you on a cliffhanger a little while back, was you were kind of walking in and you were saying yes or no to a drink, and I told you that was the wrong answer. And you want to know what the answer is, if I remember correctly. So when somebody says, "Hi, Andrew, nice to meet you," and say, "Hi, so and so, nice to meet you," and they say, "Can I get you something to drink?" The right answer is, "Are you having something? Are you having something?" Think about what that's done. It hasn't made you say yes and direct somebody. It hasn't made you say no and have a negative context with somebody in the first few seconds of meeting them. And it puts you in a position of being a nice person and sincere. Suppose they say, "Well, actually, I just had coffee. Did you want it?" They say, "No, I'm good. I had a lot of coffee." And they say, "Well, yeah, actually, I was going to go get a Coke. Would you like one?" "That would be wonderful. Thank you." Or, "Could I follow you back and get a water?" "Sure, that would be great. Thank you." Are you having something? It's a simple little thing, and it gets you in the right mode of being liked. We're going to go through three parts: respect, listening, and being in the zone. Let's get into respect. What does respect mean? Are you a respectful person? Of course you are. You're a nice person. But what does it mean? Touched on it a little before. It begins with the process of being overly polite, letting somebody choose their seat first. But how do you get in the mode of respect? Think about the person in your life that you have the most real respect for, actual respect. Is it a parent? Is it a teacher? Is it a religious leader? Is it a political leader? Is it somebody that you've met before? It's the person that when you see or meet, you're just on your best behavior. You don't want to do something silly. You want to be dressed nicely. You want to speak nicely. You want all your adverbs coming out properly because of the way you feel about that person. It's a level of respect. The way to never fail on who you are in that interview is, when in doubt, in that split second, what do? You picture the person that you're speaking to as that person that you have the utmost respect for in the world, and you can never go wrong. If you picture that person right now, you would never say, "Hey, so-and-so, how you doing?" You just don't do that to that person. You wait for that person to extend their hand. You wait for that person to sit down first. That's what I'm speaking about in respect. You picture that person, and you can't go wrong. I get this question all the time. What if I make a mistake? What if I give the wrong answer? Move on. The worst thing you can do is dwell on something and not like what's happening. And there's one more big aspect of respect. What if in the first few minutes of an interview you're like, "Oh, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I expected." It doesn't matter. Respect means that for that half hour of an interview, you want that job more than anything else in the world. You want that job more than anything else in the world. And we'll pick that up in step 3, in being in the zone. But right now, I just want to start with that process. Respect. Picture the person, stay with it, you'll never go wrong. Number 2, something that some generations do better, something that other generations don't do as well, depends who you are. Listening. Why is it so important to listen? People have told you before, "I hear you." I don't need you to hear me. I need you to listen to me. Because you never know when there's going to be a question mark at the end of a sentence. And if you're the person that's not paying attention when there's a question mark at the end of a sentence, you're going to look lost, because you're going to be lost. You have to listen to everything that's happening in the interview. What happens if I have 3 people that are interviewing me? It's a great question. Thank you. Person here, here, and here. Person over here asks you the question. You heard the question. You begin your answer with looking at this person and sharing your eyes with the other people in the room. You're listening. And sometimes in law interviews, I see this happen a lot. The person over here, they're not that friendly. Sometimes they even say something that seems a little upsetting. Maybe they've insulted you in some way, just a little, not in a bad way, or say, "I don't understand that answer." You hear what they're saying, and you smile to yourself and say, why are they doing this? They're probably not a mean person. I'm not being a mean person. They're testing you. They're testing you to see how you react under the slightest bit of pressure, the slightest bit of difference. They're looking to see how you react. They don't want someone in their office that they don't like. And they don't want somebody, if they put them in front of a client, if they put you in a team situation, If you're sitting in the kitchen nicely, they want you to be the type of person people want to be around. Which means if something negative happens, which happens in life, they want you to react well. Number one, what did we say? Respect. Number two, listening. Number three is very, very important. We started to touch on it at number one. Be in the zone. Be in the zone. What does that mean? Picture the thing that you like most in life that makes you feel the happiest. Maybe you play basketball. Maybe you dance. Maybe you give speeches. Maybe you run. Whatever it is you do where you feel that special feeling, maybe it's endorphins welling up in you, it's a smile that you can't stop, it means you're on. You're on. Maybe it's just that great cup of coffee, but you're on. That's who you need to be for the entire interview. You need to be on. Not crazy on, just on. And paying attention. Paying attention is the price of admission in an interview. Remember what we're doing here. I want you to get a job. The person that's speaking to you has a job, and they have a job for you if you want it. What about my resume? I'm worried about my resume. Your resume got you in the door. Your resume is now something that you just need to know the answer if they ask you what something is. Clarifying questions. That's your resume. A clarifying question. They don't want to trick you. They didn't bring you in so that they could say, oh, what's that on note number 4? Did you really spend exactly 4.5 months in this foreign country learning all of these things? If it's not true, don't put it on the resume. If it is true, you can speak to it. You're not walking in there so they can catch you for something that was wrong in your resume. Your resume got you in the door. Maybe your phone interview got you in the door. You're now in the door. You want them to like you. So what I'm trying to do is to get you from a 1 to 10, from an 8 to a 9.5. Because everyone that does a good job is at least an 8. But for you to get the job, you have to separate yourself from the other 10 people they brought in. You have to be a 9, a 9.5, maybe a 10. But you have to be that number. So you have to be in the zone. What else does it mean to be in the zone? Suppose that you're interviewing for grad school at the University of and whatever it is. What's the mascot for the University of whatever? What do you mean I'm going to the grad? Wouldn't you want to know what it is? Have you been on the website for the school? Have you been on the website for the company that you want to go to? Did you go to look at all the notes? Did you download? Did you look at everything on top? Every window, every menu? Do you know the name of anybody that's interviewing ahead of time? Did you connect with them on LinkedIn? Oh, that's weird. No, it's not weird. It's socially acceptable. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Read their bio. Look at their resume online. If you're interviewing with a law firm, find out if that morning something was happening that firm was involved in. You don't want to be a person not to know that. For those of you old enough to remember, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you read a newspaper? Did you look at the news in the morning? You want to know what's happening that morning. If you think about it, back on 9/11, you didn't want to be the person that came to an interview maybe a week later somewhere or a day later in another city and didn't know what happened. Or you didn't know that the team right here in this city won the Super Bowl. Or you didn't know something else. Now, I know these things sound odd, but there are different people who do and don't know what's happening in the world. Being in the zone means you know who's interviewing you, everything you can know, you know what the company's about, you know what the school's about, you know what the program's about, you know everything you can possibly know. But what if they don't ask me about that? They may not. But it builds your confidence and it gets you in the zone. Trust me on this. Lots of people, lots of time. This is stuff that I see that works. And it's not a trick. It's the authentic, sincere way of helping somebody else like you in a short period of time. I gave you a visual in a few sessions ago about being on that plateau. You don't want to be in the hole. Would you like something to drink? No. Then you're in the hole. Are you having something? You're going up. You're respectful? You're going up. You're listening? You're going up. You're in the zone? You're almost getting there. That's where you want to be. I'll give you another visual. You want the person that's interviewing you to walk out of the interview either expressly or figuratively saying, you see so-and-so here? I want to hire this person. I'm going to sign my name on the HR sheet and say, I want to hire that person. This is what you want happening. You want the person to say, I want to see this person in the lunchroom. I'm okay seeing this person at a company event. That's your goal in this interview. We're going to discuss more. You're here on our YouTube channel, Gylt. Please subscribe. Please like what it is you've seen and leave a comment. say something, ask us something. It'll come up in another session. Maybe other people will ask as well. Please subscribe. Please stay with us. I'm Andrew Singer. This is Gylt.